The U.S. described yesterday's talks with Ukrainian officials as productive. Can you shed some light as to what exactly has been produced to this point?
Kaylee, Joe, thank you very much for having me. As you know, it's already the second time our teams meet there. The previous meeting was a little bit more than a week ago. And we really have great discussions with our American colleagues and friends. Ukraine did not start this war. We want peace more than anyone. And Ukraine is committed to peace. As President Zelensky repeatedly said, we are ready for the full ceasefire. We are ready to discuss partial ideas of ceasefire. Ukraine is not going to be the problem here because we were not the problem to start with. So it was really good discussions. There is nothing we can publicly say now, but we really hope that together with both State Department and National Security Advisors team, who are making great efforts in bringing all of us closer to peace, we will be able to convince Russians to move closer to peace.
You mentioned partial ceasefire. How would you describe the status of this energy infrastructure ceasefire that we've heard about? Has it actually taken effect? Is the clock running on this?
Well, we are discussing it, and Ukraine actively supports it. Again, we believe the idea of a full ceasefire, which President Zelensky not only commended, but again, we embrace it wholeheartedly. It's a great idea. President Trump suggested the full ceasefire for 30 days. That's a great idea, actually. That would save lives. Unfortunately, we need Russia to agree to that in order to be. But you see right now, today, a horrible tragedy in Sumy, more than 90 people wounded. Yesterday, Kyiv attacked, family killed, a father and a 5-year-old. Day before yesterday, Zaporizhia. 2 days ago, again, church in Sumy. Every day Russia continues to attack. And that's why not only Ukraine is committed to peace and wants peace, but we need peace.
Do you think Russia shares that commitment to peace at this point? Is the administration misunderstanding where Russia actually is on this right now?
No, I think we have good understanding between us and the U.S., and we're working really hard to get to peace. Now we will see with Russia. They have to show it not only by words, but with their deeds.
We heard from President Trump on a potential minerals deal with Ukraine. Just about completed. We'll be signing it soon, he said. Are you really that far along?
Well, as the former Minister of Finance and during my 4 years as an ambassador, I always pushed for bigger cooperation between U.S. and Ukraine. And there are many areas we can do that. Mineral deals is one of them. Energy, infrastructure, innovations and engineering. Everywhere, all the sectors where Ukraine can be a solution to so many global problems and where we together can actually add to security and to prosperity of both of our countries. So our first Vice Prime Minister and Secretary Bessent are in active discussions. And the more we can do together on the economic and investment front, the better for both of our countries. Of course, peace is something that is on everyone's mind. We need for Russia to stop this aggression, and we need to return to peace. But there is a lot we can do together.
Well, you mentioned energy there. Is it going to stop at just the minerals deal? Because we now have the administration floating ideas around controlling Ukrainian nuclear power plants, for example, having an ownership role to play. Can you shed some light on those conversations?
Well, again, as I said, there are many industries where we can cooperate. And Ukraine energy is one of the top 4 or 5 industries where Ukraine, even during the war, at the beginning of this full-fledged war phase, Ukraine was exporting electricity. That's why Russia is attacking our energy, because this is one of the competitive advantages that we had. Similar with agribusiness, similar with infrastructure, and again, defense tech and everything else. We really would like to cooperate more with U.S., of course, with European partners and others, but I think there is a lot we can do with American companies.
Ambassador, I just want to put a finer point on a couple of things that we've brought up with the spirit of cooperation in mind, and I understand the sentiment of that statement that you're making. But is a minerals deal about to be signed, or will more negotiations be required? And is an energy infrastructure ceasefire actually in effect? Has it been signed?
Well, we are discussing it very actively. Definitely is not going to be, I think both teams are very focused on doing it and doing it pretty fast. But of course, as we all know, in investment and finance, you have to discuss everything. The more you agree and discuss everything before you sign, the better and partnership afterwards. But we are doing it at a very quick pace.
Speaking of quick pace, the White House appears to be targeting for a full ceasefire to start April 20th. Is that a timeline that Ukraine sees as realistic? It's just weeks away at this point.
Well, even more than a week ago, our president said we are ready for it. Mm-hmm. So, again, it takes two to dance. And Ukraine wants this ceasefire. We are ready for ceasefire. We actually want a full-fledged and just peace. But it's not going to be Ukraine that is going to be impediment for that.
We heard from U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff, who had a lengthy meeting. He's had a couple of sessions with Vladimir Putin, and said over the weekend he does not regard Putin as a bad guy, talking about how much of the narrative here involving sham referendums led to these Russian-occupied areas of Ukraine. Does that make you question the White House, this administration, as a credible actor in these talks, if they're saying that Vladimir Putin is not a bad guy?
It doesn't make me question. I mean, we all can have our own opinions. I just shared yesterday a video that a member of my family shot when the apartment complex in which he lives was targeted by Shahed drones. Mm-hmm. So I have my opinions about Russians who attacked us in 2014, and they attacked us in 2022, and every day they kill peaceful civilians in Ukraine. So, look, right now the focus is on how to get to peace and how to get to justice. And there will be lots of time to discuss different opinions, but we have to keep the focus on what is important now.
Well, if it's about getting to a just peace, what concessions has Ukraine put on the table that you're willing to agree to in order for that to happen, or that the administration has asked of Ukraine?
Right now, the discussion is on how to get to this, and I think Ukraine is showing clearly that we are committed to peace. We need to hear and see the same commitment from Russia, and after that, that's why we have teams working and negotiating, and it's going to be process probably, but I think it's not about concessions that Ukraine is willing to make. Ukraine is committed to peace. We want peace. We are defending ourselves. We are not the ones who started this war. But again, as we said, hopefully with under the leadership of President Trump, with his vision of peace through strength, we will be able to get there.
What will follow these sessions once these talks in Saudi Arabia are over? What's the next step?
Let's wait and see. I mean, our team is still there, and hopefully in the coming days we will hear whether we are moving forward. Hopefully, yes. And we'll see the next stages again. More than a week ago, President Zelensky said Ukraine is ready for an unconditional ceasefire.
You want to see all three parties at the table for the next session? At the same table?
Again, it's not up to me on how it's going to be done. Mm-hmm. The focus is to have the comprehensive peace, but at least a full ceasefire, which Ukraine agreed to.
It's great to have you back with us at the table. Thank you, Ambassador.